Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dennis. I know you've heard my voice, a team member here at Streamcore Productions. I want to thank you for being a part of my first live stream. I've usually just been doing videos and things of that nature, editing videos. I'm a videographer, a photographer. I'm a musician. I've been a musician for over 25 years. And over that time, I eventually got involved in videography as a result of being a music director at churches for many years, multiple churches, and churches switching into streaming and videography probably heavily about 10 or 12 years ago. And so since then, I've been involved in videography and editing and marketing and everything that comes with it, digital marketing, social media management and marketing. And today I just want to review a video I've done, okay? It's a video about lead generation. I have a lot of clients now with my business, Streamcore Productions. And these clients come to me, and a lot of times people are a little wary about what it takes to find clients. You go on your Facebook feed and you see all these people talking about, hey, $29 a month and we'll help you find some clients. And you go spend some money and you never see any results. So when you run into somebody who actually knows what they're doing and has proof, you're a little skeptical. And so I did a video a while back about lead generation, and today I want to go through that video. I appreciate you guys again joining me for my first live stream. So y'all bear with me. I'm trying to figure everything out as far as how I'm supposed to communicate with everybody, but I appreciate you being here. If you can, come in, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Make sure that you go check out my other videos. It can definitely help you grow your business. A lot of these things are very common sense. However, if you're new to it, it's really not common sense, right? So today we're going to give you a little explanation. I'm going to play the video and I'm going to review it. I'm going to come in with a little bit of commentary. I promise I won't bore you. But we're going to go through the video. The video is only about 5 minutes, but there will be stops. So lock in with me. So let's go ahead and let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Okay, everybody, that's our little intro. You'll see it on the other videos that we do. And we'll be doing some tutorials on how to we use Adobe Premiere Pro with all the apps. And we'll be doing tutorials to help you, guide you through how to do those particular things, how to do dynamic text and how to put the smoke in front of letters and get all the detail that you saw on some of those text. And so definitely subscribe so you can see those videos. But right now, again, we're going to talk about lead generation today. And so what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll play this video. And every once in a while I'll stop and give you a little bit more on what lead generation is and how everything works. A little bit more detail and information. So let's get started. What's going on, everybody? This is Dennis, a team member here at Streamcore Productions. And on this channel, we focus on photography and videography, along with video marketing, ways to increase your sales for your business. Now, if this sounds like something that you could use, please go down and like this video, subscribe to our channel, so you can be updated on all future content. So at Streamcore Productions, we do a lot of video marketing. Now again, guys, clients come to us because they want to use video as a way to build. I'm just going to give you a little commentary on everything. Having a video that catches people's attention is extremely important. Please feel free to leave. But it only works well if you know what you're doing when it comes to social media marketing and targeting. And even though you've created leads, that's not all. You have to know how to follow up with those leads. The purpose of today's video is to help you create a plan for long-term success. All right, let's get into it. seeing right now. So there are tons of sites out there that you can use to find leads. And a lot of times it may seem a little tough to think that you spent all this money on marketing and the only thing that you're getting back in return are leads, because that suggests that you have to do some more work. Okay, so at that point, one of the things that I just said was, if you don't understand that the work continues once you find a lead, when you communicate with a client that is interested in your services or interested in the products or whatever it is, when they communicate with you, it does not mean that you have a guaranteed sale. We live in a technology age. The internet has taken over. YouTube itself is much larger in a lot of respects to television nowadays. And as a result of that, everyone is being inundated with all of these ads. The client that you're talking about, the client that you're reaching out to, there are other businesses that are using digital marketing, using Facebook tools, and those clients have already seen your competition. They've probably seen a few people and they've decided to communicate with 2 or 3 of them. And so as a result of that, your job is not over. That first communication has not sealed the deal for you most of the time. Now, it does happen, but it's not probable to think that your first time communicating with somebody is all you need in order to lock that client down. I think that's a very important point, is that that first communication is not the end of the conversation. Okay, let's continue. Understand that the work continues. A lot of times you may think that marketing is not worth it, but that's just not true. Okay, so let me give you an example. If you go to our channel here on YouTube, Stream Core Productions, you'll see an introductory video, and it's more like a commercial. It's not what you're seeing now. Just music. Is a video show clips of different commercials that in our local area to find clients. We've recently used that clip and boosted it on social media to find clients. Even if you don't have the same type of budget that we have, you can still find clients. I say that because our last video boosted just on Facebook and Instagram, we spent $1,300 on the initial push for the video. We chose the option in Facebook to generate more leads instead of just getting likes and different things of that nature. Facebook said they guaranteed us at least 50 to 80 leads off of this advertisement. This can definitely change according to the time that you're going to run the ad. Now, on that particular ad, as I said, because of the way that we use the Facebook marketing tools, I'll say, or the infrastructure in Facebook in order to find your target market, it guaranteed us, it said we were getting anywhere from 50 to 80 leads. And that wasn't off of $1,300 spent. The initial push was $1,300. And with that, I think we spent somewhere that first week around $200, a little bit over $200 a day in order to find clients on the first week. Now, I usually do a test on my videos for my own business because I want to see if people are responding to the video before I commit $5,000-$10,000 on a video in order to find clients. Now, don't let that scare you because of the numbers that I'm saying. We do this for other clients, and I've been doing this for years. So now I've taken the profit that I've had from other clients, put it to the side, and I have some money to spend on advertising. It sounds real grand, but that's none of my money. I don't get to spend that money. I'm sure there's some business owners out there right now that's just like, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. It's a bill. It is a bill. And I almost don't want to use the word bill because a bill sounds kind of bad. It's really a great thing to get involved in marketing, but either way, it's something that we have to do on a continuous basis. So that's another thing. If you want to get into video marketing or let's say digital marketing of any sort, but particularly video marketing on social media, which is something that I'm a big supporter of because it's allowed me to grow my business and scale my business to now I can do live videos and start doing live videos because I have other videographers, I have other editors, I have audio engineers and lighting techs that I can contract out to do work for me. And it all came from starting on Facebook first. That's it. Google was charging in my area somewhere around $2,800 a month to be on the front page. And Google is nice. Make no mistake about it. Google owns YouTube. Google and YouTube is a great place to do business. It is an excellent place. However, I started on Facebook because I didn't have the budget after purchasing all of this equipment to spend that much money per month. Now, again, I started my business without any business loans, and I used Facebook ads targeting people that were in market on Facebook first. Now, I am using Google and other things now, but right now, let's just stick with social media, more Facebook, Instagram, because Facebook owns Instagram. If you start a business page on Facebook, you can connect your Instagram business page to your Facebook business page, and you can run ads on to Instagram and Facebook simultaneously. Now, we know that Facebook and Instagram are huge, and depending on the services or whatever you're providing, you can definitely find your target market in those areas for the most part. And it really depends on the age and different things of that nature that you have to consider. And that's something that we'll get into when we start getting into targeting on social media. These are things that you can do pretty well for yourself. And if you do your money right and you put your money up, then you can go hire somebody like my company to do it for you. But it's not feasible for everybody to have that type of money sitting around. I heard a statement not too long ago that, and give me a break if I'm wrong on the numbers, but it's somewhere around some high percentage of Americans, I think it's 80 to 90% of Americans, cannot afford a $400 emergency expense if it just happened out of anywhere. Now, keeping that in mind, it's not really logical to think that most people who have a heart and a desire to start a business can then afford $2,800 a month right off the rip, unless somebody is investing in your business, or somebody is, or if the bank is giving you some money. But that's not always an option. So I'm a big proponent of people who have the drive, the discipline, and have the work ethic. You can really start a business simply off of Facebook video marketing. It's a little cheaper than YouTube because you can kind of spend whatever you want to spend. You still need to spend probably around $1,000, anywhere from I would say at least $500 on a video. And you have to pay attention to the way Facebook responds and tells you how many leads that they believe they can give you. And then you have to have a plan to communicate with those leads. But let's move forward. We'll get a little bit more into that in just a second. There are a lot of different factors that change how many leads you can get. Now, because we not only do this for ourselves to find clients, but we do this for clients, we already knew we had to have certain things in place in order to follow up with leads. For instance, when a lead made first contact, we already had an email together to respond to that person. We already had a script together if we made a phone call to that person. And while we're on the subject, okay, so that's key. Before I did, and this is something I tell my clients, before I finished my video, I had already put together emails that made sense for the content that was created or the content that we were about to create that continued the conversation. And I already had a plan. I didn't just wait for people to hit me up and then they had these particular questions that I hadn't thought about. I took some time and I thought about as many angles as I could. And then I had emails together I use Google Drive and G Suite. And I had in my Google Docs an email, different types of emails that I could use for different situations. And I could simply take a name out, add a name, and then send that to a person's email, or even take that information and send it in their inbox on Facebook. So as soon as somebody would like my video, I would already have a video to say, hey, we appreciate the fact that you supported our content. Maybe, are you interested in our services? Now, that's not exactly what I said, but the point is to have an email ready and have your communications ready, because in the time that you had to prepare those emails, you can really get detailed instead of it being something that you are doing off the top of your head. And plus, it's less time consuming. Now, there may be a situation where a person contacts you and only certain sections of that email that you prepared, or those messages that you prepared, make sense for that particular client. So then you can take what you need out. And that's why I usually have multiple documents. So that way I can kind of manipulate one and keep one as my main document and copy and paste and go back and forth, so I can tailor it to their needs. So it's personal, but I'm not just spending all day writing all these emails. It really helps with time management if you're prepared beforehand. Again, this is something we tell our clients, and we think it's something that you can really use, because when you understand, again, that when you first make contact, the conversation is just getting started. It is not a guarantee for clients. And we'll get a little bit more into that in just a second. Phone calls. It's extremely important to make sure that when people give you a call, they hear a professional voice on the other side of the phone. Okay, so let's just imagine for a second that you're having an event and you're shopping for a caterer. You've seen somebody's website, you think it's pretty decent. It seems that they have good reviews, but then you call and the first thing they say is, hello? And then you call someone else and they say, thank you for choosing Stream Core Catering. How may I help you? It's pretty obvious who you would trust to cook your food for your event. And that's a key point. Sometimes I deal with new business owners, and one of the mistakes that people make is they have a business, a great idea, but they are not quite chiseled enough to build trust with clients. This is not my first business. I first started a business years ago. It was actually a moving business. When I started that business, I didn't have any money. I just had a will, and I didn't want to work for anybody. And I'm sure a lot of you business owners can agree with that. Like, the corporate plantation, some people say. It's not a bad thing to have a job, but I wanted a business. I wanted to work for myself. And I found that when I worked for myself, I could work 15, 16, 17 hours, and I never got tired, and I always felt fulfilled. So it was something that I had to do for me. But what I found out when I started that moving business in 2007 or 8, I ended up with 5, 6 trucks, crews, moving everywhere. When I started that business, I started with a 15-passenger van. I'm a musician. I was playing for a church, one of the churches that I was playing for, and the pastor really wasn't paying me a whole lot, but he had an extra van at his house that he wasn't using. And so I was like, listen, man, and he knew my skill was beyond what he was paying me. And so I was like, listen, man, I'm interested in starting a business. And you have a 15 passenger van back there that I could use to start my business. Why don't you just let me pay you a little something for that? And we decided he gave it to me for a really good deal. And I went and spray painted the name of my business. I came up with the name of the business. I thought about a name. The actual name of the business it was Top Grade Moving and Delivery at that point. And eventually I changed the name. But I thought about a name that spoke to the type of service that I wanted to do. At that point, Craigslist was all the rage. And so I got on Craigslist and I looked at my competition, and it was usually, we can move your house, one line, give us a call. And I was like, wow, I don't know if I would trust that person. And so I called some of my competition, and they were exactly what I said on this video. They would answer the phone and they would say, hello. And I was like, man, really? And because I had a customer service background, I knew that having a really good speaking voice and speaking with confidence and knowing what you're talking about, knowing the details, is key to building trust over the phone, especially. And I knew that if I could create a nice brand that was visually appealing, make sure my ad answered most of the questions that people needed, and make sure that my ad sent the message that you could trust me. Not only could you trust me, but we were going to do everything in our power to make sure we kept our word, we were on time, and your furniture ended up wherever it was supposed to end up, unscathed. Those are the main things that I pushed when I started my business. And so I wrote a really nice ad. I got I did the best branding I could do as far as the logo and everything. And, I went and got my LLC, and I didn't know much about LLCs. I usually do S Corps now, but LLC, and got me a little business bank account. And when people called me, I said, thank you for choosing Top Grade. Dennis speaking. How may I help you? And a lot of times people be like, hello? I'm like, yes, ma'am. Oh, I thought I was speaking to a recording. Oh my God. Hey, how are you? From the beginning of the conversation, I was light years ahead of my competition because of not only my speaking voice, but because of the time that I took on my ad. Because of the time that I took on my ad and how professional it was, I'll tell you this. I started that business in December. The first time I put ads up was late November. In December, I accepted my first job on December 1st. I worked every day. I found a guy. I was very lucky. I went and found another guy on Craigslist that was looking for some work, and we worked every day from the 1st of December until the last day of December. Even on Christmas, we left our families and we went and got some work done. There was some college kids who were moving during that time and didn't have a lot of family in the area. I think it was somebody at Duke University. I'm in the North Carolina area, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Triangle area. And so we went and helped. I remember her because we ended up hanging out and being kind of cool. But we went and we moved somebody on Christmas Eve and Christmas. And I stood out from my competition because I took the time to get a nice brand. I wrote an amazing ad. This was the Craigslist years ago. And I had a professional speaking voice and took the time to be professional on the phone. And I had as many questions as I could think of. And every time somebody gave me another one, I was honest with the person and I worked through the question and I wrote it down later and I researched it later so that I would become proficient in answering people's questions and I would be able to address these things even before they asked me the question. A lot of people don't talk about how important customer service is in the lead generation process. This is something we talk to our clients about. If you know what you're talking about, if you're confident, if you're courteous, if you are sure of yourself, it goes a long way. That first communication, whatever your video ad was, is what we do, video marketing, digital marketing. Whatever ad that you used was good enough for that person to call you. Now, that person is slowly chopping the list down. Again, you're probably not the only person that they communicated with. But if you take your time and make sure that my mother used to say this, if you cross your T's and you dot your I's, you will stand out from your competition. The video can be great, but if they call you and you answer the phone and you say hello, because you haven't even done something as simple as getting a Google voice number. Now, this is for people that I'm talking about that are starting businesses and they have the discipline and drive and they don't have the money or infrastructures to go get a special line for themselves. There are a lot of different apps that you can use so that you know that this particular call is a business call. And as soon as it rings, no matter what, I would be in the store and drop my stuff on the counter and run out and walk to the side, and I would say, "Thank you for choosing Top Grade. Dennis speaking. How may I help you?" I would be holding up a piece of furniture. This is the first business that I started years ago. I would be holding up a piece of furniture and say, "Thank you for choosing Top Grade. Dennis speaking. How may I help you?" And then we would slowly put it down, and my crew, the guy who was helping me, the first employee I had, he would know, and we would just chill, and he would listen, and then he would pull out a piece of paper and take some notes, and we would be working on somebody's move. And this was the time when I had to get out there physically and help people and do the job. I mean, it would be times where we would work until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, wake up, go home, wake up 5 a.m. and be at another job. But again, because it was my business, it really didn't matter. And that's where I knew self-employment was right for me. But my professionalism and the way that I spoke to my clients, my presentation is what separated me from my competition. So that's what I'm talking about at this section of the video that we're reviewing. This is a video, again, for anyone who's joined. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you want tips on business, if you want tips on lead generation, if you need, go through our channel and look at some of our other videos, write a comment, leave us a question, let us know if there's any other thing that you need help with. You can send an email to contact@streamcoreproductions.com, and you can give us, and we will communicate with you and give you what we've gotten over the years. And again, right now I'm talking about a business I started in 2007, my first business, and how I started with no money. No money. I started this business, and at that point I was living in a rooming house, in a room, and I grew it to 5 or 6 trucks, crews. We were doing long distance moves from North Carolina to LA to New York to Austin to all over the place. And it started, I never got any money from a bank. I just learned these things along the way. So subscribe to the channel, send us a message, let us know what you need help with. Let's see. Let's keep going. All right, guys, again, here we go. But what if you're dealing with clients that are responding directly from the ad that you're promoting? Maybe the form only includes an email address. So that takes us back to what we've already mentioned. It's having an email that is pre-planned and is already put together, so you're not just creating these things on the fly. It's also a good idea to keep yourself in a position to take notes and collect information from your client, because one of the things you'll always hear is we'll call you back when we make a decision. Don't make the mistake in thinking it's okay to wait for them to call you back. I'm sure you're not the only person they've contacted for those services. If you stay connected to that client and they know that you really want their business because you communicate regularly, over time, you have a greater chance of landing that client. Okay, so let's imagine that you've boosted a post on Facebook and Instagram, and instead of people contacting you, what they've done is like your post. Usually these are people who would like to use your service, but most of the time they're not in a position to purchase. It's a great idea to have a second message already prepared, so as people like your post, you can email them or message them directly, offering them a slight discount. Okay, guys, so in that particular segment of the video, we talked about some things that I've already covered, but the key thing is you should already be prepared before you engage in video marketing, social media marketing, which we are big supporters of. That's what StreamCore Productions does for our clients. We create content. We do content writing, we digital marketing, targeting, social media management, all of these different things. But you should be prepared to communicate with your clients before you launch your video. You should have different messages together. And in that section, I talked about clients that like your video. What I found over the years of managing people's campaigns is a lot of those clients who like it or save it or share it, they're doing that not because they just love the content so much. Sometimes that's the case. It really depends which angle you come from. But they're doing that because they want the services, but they may not be prepared or have the money right now to use your business. But it's something they're interested in. Again, this is social media targeting. So you've already targeted these people according to their interests, according to the things that they've shared, according to their cookies, according to their web traffic. So this person is interested, especially if you've done it right. You're definitely in front of people who are interested. But the people who like your video, it may, in some situations, every situation is different. But these might be the people where you've set up a message to say, hey, listen, we appreciate your support on our video. We'd like to offer you 15% off for liking our video. You know, of course, that's in a nutshell, but that's the general idea, is that you have to communicate with these people immediately. You need to get on them immediately. I'll tell you another thing. I was just talking about my first business, which was a moving business. I started in 2007. And in that business, I talked about how my ad, this was the days of Craigslist. If you're young and you don't know what I'm talking about, Craigslist wasn't always the same. Eventually it was shut down for some shady things. But before, it was a great thing for business, especially small business. Even large businesses were using it. And I put an ad up and I noticed that people were not using details in the ad. It was just like, we move furniture. Give us a call. And so I made an ad that had a lot more meat to it, had nice pictures on it, and made sure that people felt safe with my service. And all of these things played a big part, of course. And then I talked about how when they called me, I made sure to not say hello. I said, thank you for choosing Top Grade. Dennis speaking. How may I help you? The advertisement made me stand out. When they called me in the way that I answered the phone made me stand out. People felt that I was a Fortune 500 company. Maybe not, maybe a Fortune 50. But people felt that they were dealing with a professional business. And when I first started, I was using a storage facility for all of my equipment. And I had a 15-passenger van. And then I got a corporate contract and used to rent trucks from Budget until I could buy my own trucks. But their experience was one where they trusted me because I spent time to perfect my customer service. And after I gave someone a quote, I didn't wait for them to call me back. I would give them a day or two sometimes. And then I would call them back. Hey, how you doing, Emily? This is Dennis. We spoke the other day. Dennis from Top Grade. Oh, hey, Dennis, how are you? Yeah, I was going to call you back. I talked to some other people and they just really seemed shady. That was something that I heard all the time. So my professionalism allowed me to stand out. And give me 1 second, guys. And so these are things that you need to keep in mind. What separates you from your competition? What experience? How does the way that you communicate with your clients make them perceive about the experience they're going to have with you? This is bigger than just the video marketing piece. Video marketing, of course, video marketers see over 60% more leads than people who don't use video. But when you get those leads, and I tell my clients this all the time, what are you doing? How are you communicating? These are things that we get together with our clients before we release a video for them. Before we manage this video and boost it on social media, you need to think about these things. And so these are the things that allowed me to have great reviews, to create a great energy between me and the client, even before the day of service, even today. When businesses call me, the first thing I say, if you ever call StreamCore Productions, you'll hear me say, thank you for choosing StreamCore. Listen to what I said. I said, thank you for choosing StreamCore. I've already assumed that you've chosen us. I've already assumed that you've chosen us. Thank you for choosing StreamCore. Dennis speaking. How may I help you? Oh, hey, how are you? Right? And then I start the conversation. I always go into my Google Docs or my G Suite, or I have a secretary do these things. But at this point, my business is scaled to where sometimes I still have to answer that phone if somebody's not into work yet or whatever's going on, right? And I take notes. I take down, may I have your first name? May I have your, it's a customer service experience. This is what professional businesses do. This is what Fortune 500 companies do. This is the experience that people are used to, first of all. And you never go against what's popular. First, last name. May I have your telephone number? May I have your email address? Okay, so listen, ma'am, could you tell me a little bit about, depending on where the conversation goes, we have a conversation. And I'm always able to guide that person and teach them things that they don't know and give them an explanation to things, which makes me stand out from my competition. So these are very important things. Let's go ahead and we'll finish this video, and then we'll do a little bit of talking, and then that'll be it for today. Again, if you're just joining, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for other videos on video marketing, lead generation, even videography. We're doing some tutorials on different mics and cameras that you can use and how to set these things up and get the quality that you need. And I'm going to go back to the live feed once this video is over, and you'll be able to see the mic that I'm actually using on this video. But let's finish things up, and then we'll talk a little bit. You'd be surprised how many clients you land just communicating regularly. So I guess the big point here today is to communicate to everyone who has any type of interaction with your boosted post. In the long run, you will land more clients, and it gives you a chance to build a relationship and build trust and make them feel valued because you stayed in contact. Well, that's all we have today. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. All right, guys, I'm not going to bore you with the intro again, but I do want to talk a little bit. What are you doing to make yourself stand out? What type of experience are you providing for the client? What is your competition doing? Why should this person feel safe spending money with you? Why should they, and a lot of times now, I'll send a deposit link. Why should a person believe that when they send that deposit, you're not going to run off with their money? Because they may have had that experience before. Now, doing videography and photography and digital marketing and everything, I hear that all the time. I don't know, because I had a person take some video for me and they ran off with my money. Yeah, I would never do that to a client, but they don't know me. So why should they believe me? They have no reason to believe me. But when you engage in video marketing and the content is professional, the quality is superb, the audio don't sound like you're in a trash can. Now, sometimes a social media type live video can work and be very wise to do for video marketing, but it's a case-by-case basis if that's something you want to do. professional services? Maybe, but not likely. But video marketing allows you to build a relationship with your clients. Not only do they get to see and meet you, but you begin to build that relationship. And over building that relationship, you begin to build trust. People remember you. And so if they ever need your services, you're likely to be the first person to come to mind. Video marketing is the only thing that can beat Google. It's the only thing that can beat the front page. Why? You hit them on social media. They like your video. They come check out your page. They see it again. They see it a few more times in their stream. You hit them with another video. They maybe like your page. You do some interesting things on your page. You drop some different things, and they know your name. They like your content. They like the way that you're presenting yourself. And you've built a relationship. So if they ever need that service, or somebody that they know needs that service, they'll say, hey, listen, how about check them out? It's the only thing, and I think that's very key. It is the only thing that can beat Google front page. Video marketing. Digital marketing itself. There's so many different things that go into that. But you have to make sure that the experience is professional. The video content, your page, your website, the way that you answer the phone, the information that you provide on that phone, and you're communicating with people who like your post. You're communicating with people that leave comments. You're communicating with people that share your post. You'd be surprised how many of those people are in market. Because again, with social media targeting, if it's done right, the video is only in front of people who have web traffic that matches your targeting, or the services or products that you provide. They're looking for those things. I know some of us have sent a text message about something that we wanted, and then you get on Facebook and you see an ad for it. That's how these things work. So this is a person, if it's done right, if it's done detailed, I wouldn't suggest doing it by yourself at first. Now, if you watch this channel and you subscribe over time, you should be able to do it. You should be able to do it pretty well for yourself and get yourself started. And then as you make some money and you put some money aside, then you can contact somebody like myself or a digital marketer professional somewhere, a company that can do it for you. But it is pretty costly, and everybody doesn't have that upfront money. When I started my first business in 2007, I did not have the upfront money. Now I have it. Now I have StreamCore Productions, a second business, and I have the money to do these things. But I didn't start out that way. And don't let anybody tell you that because you didn't get $5 million from the bank that you can't start a business. Yes, you can. You have to be very disciplined, and you have to present yourself in the best light as possible. And you have to be consistent, and you have to be patient, but you can do it. And on this channel, I want to help those people who were like me and didn't have the money. I'm not specifically saying any particular group of people, because as we know, all people from all walks of life come up with different financial situations. But those who are who may have a job and want to get off of what I like to call the corporate plantation, which is absolutely not for me. It is not for me at all. These are the people that should subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be dropping nuggets. You can contact me. You can leave a comment. You can ask me questions. You can email me at contact. You go to contact@streamcoreproductions.com. Send me an email, and we can talk back and forth. And I can give you what I've learned the hard way since 2006, 2007. I happen to believe that on-the-job training is some of the best training around. That's what I happen to believe. Now, I'm not saying that's right for everybody, but it depends on the type of person that you are. On-the-job training is irreplaceable, in my opinion. Experience. And so what I've learned, I will give to you. If you have any questions, please let me know. I definitely appreciate you tuning in for our first live stream. Make sure that you like and you share this video. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you've experienced and what issues you're having in your business. If we know, we can help. But I appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Watch the other videos on lead generation and how to increase sales and different things of that nature. If you're a videographer or photographer, we're about to do some reviews on some different mics that you can use. As you can see here, I'm not using a Rhodes or anything. This is a studio mic because we also do audio engineering and music production. So I have studio equipment. I have an audio interface hooked up to a laptop and the studio mic, and it sounds pretty nice in my headphones. I don't know. Guess you had to tell me. And I'll watch it later and see how it sounds. But stay tuned and be a part of our growth. Right now we're sitting at about 2,300 subscribers, and we're going to keep the pedal to the metal, and we're going to grow this channel. And we want you to be a part of it. I appreciate your time. I can't wait to see you next time. We'll be doing a review soon of, I believe it's a Comica video mic. We're going to be showing how that sounds against the Canon EOS camera mic in the camera. And then we'll do one for the Blue mic here. And then we will do one comparing those two mics. And then we will do one comparing some other types of mics that you can use, so you can make sure that you have really clean audio if you're a videographer, photographer, or anything of that nature, and show you the difference of using an audio interface and using Adobe Premiere Pro and just hooking up a mic to that one. It's a big difference in sound quality, and that can really help you increase what you charge your clients for those extra steps and work, and just the whole production value itself. So that's what we got coming up. I appreciate your time. We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in. What's going on, everybody? This is